Right, so in this video, guys, we're going to be doing a bit of a garage update. There's going to be a few things I haven't told you. I'm going to show you a few things. And also, for the first time, I've got a cameraman who's recording me, so it's going to be a bit of a different style of video. So let me know what you think to this type of video. And there's going to be a few exclusives. And primarily, we're going to focus on the TVR for the first bit, because that's what everyone keeps asking for. And there is a big update. So if we just go inside. Yes, over 2 years ago now, I bought this TVR Cerebra Speed 6 4 litre from Salvage auction, and it was a non-runner. It was unrecorded, it hasn't been involved in a crash, but it had been sat for 11 years and was a non-runner. Now, upon trying to strip this and get it started, I mean, look, the fuel tank's in the boot, for goodness sake. This is unlike any car I've ever worked on, and any car I probably will. It's a complete kit car. It's got a ladder frame chassis, the body sits over the chassis. The whole thing was rusted, and we just basically, it completely needs the body taken off here. It's a fiberglass body, so actually I'm not damaging it by putting the lift under it here. And we can see the full extent of the damage by taking the body off. And it's just so unlike anything I've ever worked on, and sort of the reason why it's taken me so long to get this back up and running, because I'm a bit out of my depth, I suppose. I don't have any experience working on a car of this age and everything like it, and it's just completely new, but really cool. But the good news is the damage to the frame isn't that bad. It can be fixed. The engine did turn over, albeit it didn't start. It just needs a complete refresh, and that starts today. So everyone's been pestering me for a couple of years about the TVR, which is fully understood and deserved. And I have got the ball rolling today. The chassis and all the suspension is going up to central TVR. We're going to load that in a second. That is going to go up there. We're still going to get the ball rolling with that. They're going to fix all the chassis, do all the suspension. It's going to come back as a rolling chassis, and then we're going to put the body back on it, and then we're going to send it for the interior to be done. And also we've got the engine here as well, which I've organised to be stripped and rebuilt, ready to put back in the car when it comes back. This isn't going to be a quick thing, which is probably why it's taken me so long to get to this point, to start filming, putting it back together. There's a lot of moving parts involved with restoring a 20-odd-year-old car. To give you an idea, the guy that's building the engine's got like a 6-month wait. So it will be like irregular updates on it, but we have got the ball rolling. That is the most important thing. So what I'll probably do is I'll wait till I get a big chunk of footage together and release a video like that. But the ball is rolling. So that is the TVR project officially underway. And we've got all the arms as well. So they're going to completely strip the chassis. They're going to fix any rust that's on it, powder coat it, paint it white. And then I don't even know what they do with the arms. They're going to fix them because they're just rusty as hell, and I don't really want to get involved because I don't have the time nor patience. So they're going to sort those out too. And yeah, this is the TVR project officially underway again after a couple of years out. On to the next one. Right, so next up we've got the Audi Q4. Now, loads of people have been asking about this car because I did a video on it a month or so ago now, and actually loads of people have been commenting and asking when we're going to get back on it and if I'm going to fix it. So the good news, I am going to fix it, but because it's a relatively new car, it's been quite hard to find parts. But if you just span over to here, you can see I have another Audi Q4 there with the front end intact. So this one is pretty much the same as the TT that we did. I bought another Q4, it's been rear-ended, and we're going to take the whole front end parts off, stick it on that one, and also take the airbag kit off as well. So that is going to be a video coming up very soon. So yeah, that's the Q4 update. And next up, another car that people keep asking about is the GTR, and when is this going to be back on? And the truth is, I don't actually know, but can anyone out there help me? Because I cannot find anyone to put this on a jig. I've found a couple of people, but just as time's passed, they've either been too busy or not been able to do it. And I've just found that most body shops that have a jig are just too busy with insurance work, and therefore just don't have time to take this on. So if anyone out there can put this car on a jig, please do let me know. I mean, as you can see, it's been sat here for ages, probably like 6 months now, and It's not too bad what we got to do. It's like this offside rear corner here, it's just pushed in where the passenger would sit in the rear. So this all needs pulling out like, I don't know, 6 inches. And I think the rear subframe's also dented a little bit. So it's not major work. I've had a couple of people come out and said doesn't look too bad, but just how things have happened, it is still sat here and it still needs doing. So please, anyone can do it, or anyone that knows anyone can do it, let me know. That is the GTR. Again, like the TVR, I bought this Audi RS6 a few years ago. It's a 5-litre twin-turbo V10, again HPI clear from a salvage auction, and this time it did actually run and drive. It's done 215,000 miles, but all is not what it seems. In fact, I'll just pull over, I'll reset the camera so you can see it from the back. At first, I thought it was the PVC system, which I completely replaced. Didn't turn out to be that. Then I thought it was the turbos, but it was just a bit odd that oil was coming in the intercooler pipes from both sides. I was ending up with around 1 litre of oil in the intercooler pipes every time I drove the car and left it resting overnight. It turns out it is a little bit of a common problem with this car, and it is to do with the oil pump scavenging oil after it's turned off, because this is a dry sump system. Now, a new oil pump, you're going to see how much that costs in a minute, but that is the reason this has been parked up for all these years. Right, next up, the RS6. I feel like this is its 3rd time round on a garage update, but the problem still remains that it needs an oil pump. And if you just look in there, it's not looking great, is it? So it's done 215,000 miles. It needs an oil pump. It did run fine other than that. But the problem is, an oil pump is £4,000. You can't get them because they don't make them anymore. So yeah, that is my issue. So I have been toying with the idea lately to maybe just buy a whole new engine, like lowish mileage one under 100k. You can get one for 6 grand. So it kind of makes sense to spend that extra 2 grand and just get a whole new engine. So let me know in the comments, what do you think I should do? So I keep an eye out for an oil pump if one pops up new, 4 grand, or do we get a whole new engine and stick a whole new engine in and go again? Or just scrap the whole thing, because it's been sat here now for a couple of years. I don't really know what to do with it, so let me know in the comments, and to be fair, I'll do whatever you guys, whatever has the most likes on a comment, I'll do, within reason. Right, we are live bidding on a car, and I'm going to get outbid because it's a very good car, to be fair.
This is a hot
Yes,
lot.
I know it's a hot lot. That's why I want it.
New bidder.
Right, I'm just going to wait until everyone stops pissing about, and I'll just bid at the end. See, this is already, it's not worth it. So I don't know what people are doing. So what I've just bid there, again, it's not worth it. This is ridiculous. It's going for retail money, and it needs a new engine. It doesn't make any sense. But this is all just for content, guys. Just remember that. I've bid 5 grand more than it's worth.
Bonus time.
But the benefit, there are a few benefits to it. You're going to see it in a video upcoming if I win it. No, I've just been outbid again. I'm just going to do it out of principle now because I'm pissed off. I do this every time, by the way. I always have a thing, a number where I think it's going to sell for. It always goes for way more than that, and I end up bidding because I get pissed off. Something you should never do, by the way. Always set your maximum bid before you start bidding.
Bonus time.
I hate bonus time. I crossed my maximum bid about 6 grand ago, by the way. Are we going to win it? Right, there we go, we won it.
Sold on approval.
I've only won this, by the way. I've only paid too much for this because I've already can source an engine fairly cheap. That's the only reason I've done this. So I'm not actually going to be out of pocket. Most other people would. So there we go. That's going to be a car coming up soon. Next up, we've got the TT, and I actually finished this a couple of months ago, but there is a problem with it that has arisen, which is the reason it's still here, and I haven't tried to sell it. And it's because I took it for MOT and I had a bit of a problem. So this is the one that I replaced the whole front end off another TT, which was rear-ended. Everything's good, replaced all the airbags, everything's sweet. Engine runs, no problem. But if you just come in here, in a second you're going to see, do you see I put it into drive and it's only gone into second gear, not first? That is because the gearbox is slightly worse for wear. So I got a gearbox fault, odd gears don't work, and I got a problem with the mechatronics basically, and I'm guessing that was because of the crash it was in. It's knocked something in the mechatronics and it's gone loose. So yeah, that is the bad thing to obviously buying the car. I've already got rid of the other car, so I can't take the gearbox out of it, which is very annoying. So we're gonna have to take the mechatronics out of this one, send it off, and hopefully it can be repaired, brought back, and then refitted. But I suppose you win some, you lose some, and that is the reason the TT is still sat here. We have a gearbox malfunction. So next up, it's not really an update this one, but this is a car transporter that I bought back in January. It was completely mangled, bought it from Copart, and I did a video to start fixing it. I lost all the footage, kind of ruined the video, so I never actually bothered. But annoyingly, this has had quite a saga to it, which I shall explain. So as you can see, it's got a brand new bed on, but when I bought it, this was a non-runner. It was 18 months old. I had no idea what the mileage was. It had one key, and I just bought it blind. It was cheap. It was £7,000. It's worth about, well, it should be about £22,000. It had a recovery bed on it from new. It was completely ruined, just parts hanging off everywhere. I will insert some pictures if I have any, but I just don't think I do. I think I just lost everything. I ended up spending £1,000 on an AdBlue tank to get it running. By the way, my diagnostic equipment can't read this because it's too new, so it's got like an OBD block on it. But Fiat came out, fitted the new AdBlue tank, cost £1,000. That got it running. I actually used it a couple of jobs, made some money with it. Then it kept going into limp mode and had a fuel pressure rail fault. Now, I had no idea what the mileage on this is when I bought it. It could have been, because it's less than 3 years old, it's never had MOT, it could have been anything from 5,000 to 105,000 miles, or even more than that. Luckily, it was bang on in the middle. It done 62,000 miles. The warranty on this is 100k, and this is done 100,000 and like 500k. And Fiat came out, we got it recovered there, and it needed a whole new fuel system. They said they found swarf in the high pressure fuel pump. £8,000 was the bill, but luckily they said they're going to do it under warranty. So massive relief, whole new fuel system under warranty. The van now drives perfectly. I then had a brand new bed fitted to it with a brand new winch. So now it looks the part, as well as obviously it's relatively new as well. So unfortunately, it would have been quite a good video, but as I said, I lost all that footage to start with, so I didn't end up continuing or filming anything else because I didn't really know what it was going to develop into. But it turned out to be quite a good story. But now it runs absolutely fine. And she's sweet, and we're actually going to be using this to take the bike to motocross because the Amarok isn't just going to be ready in time. So yeah, one Fiat. So one of the last ones is the white Audi TT here. Now, the person that actually won this, I didn't actually put a cash alternative out on Compete for Cars for this, but the guy that wanted it, or sorry, the guy that won the competition, he just asked for a cash alternative because he needed the money for more important things. So I said, look, I'll give you a cash alternative. So he ended up taking a cash alternative, which is why I've still got the TT, and it is for sale if someone wants it. I don't really want to put it back on again. So it's ready to go, it's MOT'd, it's just sat here, just haven't bothered advertising it yet. So if anyone does want the TT, £6,500, then it's all yours. It'll have 12, well, probably 11 months MOT now, but it hasn't moved since then. Other than that, it's sweet and all good to go. So if you want it, let me know. Right, so the last two cars are the two current ones. We've got the Octavia VRS3 and the Hurracan. The Octavia, I haven't touched since the last video on it. I still need to take the mechatronics out, send that down to be repaired, which I'm gonna do actually in a moment. So I've just taken off the sump pan to the mechatronics on the RS3, and it turns out there was actually quite a bit of water in there. Just started filming a bit too late, but probably about, don't know, a litre of water's come out so far. Yeah, cover off, and definitely a bit milky in there, look. Is that shards of stuff as well? What's all that? Bitty stuff. Ugh. But yeah, look, mechatronics ain't looking too clever. Miracle that the actual gearbox talks to it. Had no faults in the gearbox whatsoever. So I'm just gonna clear all this down. Get all this gunk, look at that gunk out, and then we're gonna send it down to down at Litco and he's going to deimmobilize it, so then it will go into gear and stuff. And then we can finally, well, we're going to have to drain the gearbox oil first, obviously, and put all new fresh oil in. But we should be able to then drive the car out. Because I've also now got an RS3 gear selector as well, which should then marry up to the gearbox because the Skoda one was just a bit too short. So that's the mechatronics now all out, and yeah, it's looking pretty milky in there, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a couple of cycles of gearbox fluid before I can properly drive this. And here is the mechatronics. And yeah, it's quite a big old unit, so I'm gonna send that down to Dan, get that demobilized, and then we can get that back and fit it as soon as possible. The Huracan is a lot more difficult because trying to source all the parts, I've literally just had TPS arrive and deliver a load of parts, and actually, I'll show you, exclusive. I bought this crash bar because this is an Audi R8 crash bar and it was 300 quid. A Lamborghini crash bar was £2,100, and if we go over to it, I was kind of hoping that'd be near enough the same. They are a little bit different, but not drastically. So the only real difference is the R8's been cut off at the end and just had plates welded onto it, and the Huracan kind of extends like 6 inches further, but they are the exact same tub. So the Huracan and the R8 tubs are the same. So this will bolt on absolutely fine. It just doesn't have these 6 inches at the end here. Now, if it's good enough for an R8, it's got to be good enough for a Huracan. So I probably am going to use this. I can't justify spending £2,100 for 6 inches. So I'm going to use it. So the next video will be on the Huracan after this one. I do have a lot more parts that have just come in, and we are going to be getting it driving. So I'm not going to say too much more about that because there will be a video coming up in the next week about the Huracan. And the bike, you'd have probably already seen the video on it, so I may have died actually while you're filming this. We're about to take that to a track, and I'm going to ride it for the first time. And I'm going to ride for the first time in 13 years, so that's going to be a laugh. You'll probably see me fall off loads of times. Probably already seen me fall off loads of times, who knows? So that is the garage update, guys. So hope that kind of brings everything up to date on exactly where we are. If anyone can help with the GTR, let me know. Let me know what you want to see on the Audi RS6 too. And obviously we know the Q4 is coming. I've got a problem with the TT, which I'm going to fix. Probably do it off camera, but I'll let you know how much it costs to fix. And next up, I'm going to start back on the Huracan again because I've got a few parts in. I may be able to get a scrape together a video because it's been a couple of weeks, but it is tough on that one. And I also have, you just saw in this little clip here, bought another car which I've just picked up as well, so there will be a video on that in the next sort of week or so as well. So as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys.